up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond, and I'm back with my only review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is a very late review, as you can see, but I really wasn't here for the episode. Nothing much happened. Just dragged out scenes and dragged out conversations for the sake of trying to give us something that is not really giving. And based off of what has taken place in the YouTube streets about Melody and Martell and their recent court case, Melody going on her TikTok live, exposing everything, not letting shit go. She is done protecting him because she wanted to keep them on a good note as far as co-parenting, but it's like, no, fuck him, fuck everybody who had nothing to say while she was going through all this pain and trauma. So it is what it is. I'm not mad at her for it. Keep on speaking up, Mel. Speak on your trauma because nobody else will. So first things first, we got the conversation between Dance and Dance. Dance. Okay, so the main point of this conversation was to gain some clarity. Okay, why were they in an awkward space by the time they got to the reunion? Why didn't she know about the baby? Why did they leave the reunion so suddenly? So Lance said he was hiding the information about him having a baby because he wasn't sure if that was his. But your mom told us you've had an on and off situation with an ex for a very long time. So the paper reads, you are the father. Okay, and then when you found out you were the father, as happy as you were, you posted on social media, it made Destiny feel a way that you didn't tell her about it. Then she goes off about the information that Tisha told her from Nell, that the reason why y'all left the reunion was because you wanted to be there for the birth of your brand new baby. Lance said that wasn't true. Because if everybody wasn't aware of him having a brand new baby, then how could his family know? They didn't find out until later, I think after the fact. And as far as them leaving LA, he was ready to go. And I think that his parents just followed behind him because they were ready to go either. But Nell, why did you lie? If you want to leave the reunion, just say you want to leave the reunion. Just say that. Nobody has to twist your arm into telling you the real reason. If you weren't ready to say it, you weren't ready to say it. Don't lie. Lance tells us that he actually wanted a relationship with Destiny. He saw the potential that could lead to marriage. But he saw red flags as well, which is why he pulled back. Were the red flags about how she operated with Moses? Was the red flag about how she operated with the God brother that she didn't know? Was the way that she didn't claim you at the reunion as to why you felt some type of way? Because she did not say you guys were dating. She didn't say you guys were in a relationship. She just said you casually dating. Did that hurt your feelings? It probably did. But, hey, it is what it is. So she calls him out for not telling him about the baby, which he needs to be accountable for. And they both agreed that they do have a great friendship, that they didn't want a relationship to ruin their friendship. But then if y'all were concerned about keeping the friendship, then you guys shouldn't have dated. So it was an agreed decision for them to date casually, not put a name on it, not put a title on it. It was open door for them to date other people. But it bothered him because he wanted a real relationship, but I guess he was just too afraid to tell Destiny how he really felt. The fact that he had deeper feelings than she did proves that he really did like Destiny, and he probably still does like Destiny. So he didn't want to make it a big deal about it. But the fact of the matter is, to me, my feelings from the beginning are still the same. Destiny was not old. No conversation, was an old no update. Because she's friends with Nell, because she's in cool with the family, you're not entitled to know everything about what's going on. If you and Lance were not dating consistently, y'all were open to date other people, he didn't have the right to tell you anything, in my opinion. Okay, you just wanted to be mad about it because you want to have something to talk about because you had no storyline. So let me talk about the bodyguard that Lance hired to be there for Destiny when she had her event. Turns out this is the same bodyguard he uses all the time, and that's his god brother, the one that she was making googly eyes with. She didn't know that that was his god brother, but again, now knowing it, her feelings about him hasn't changed. Do you not see how fine that man is? I'm not blind. So then she mentions Trish telling her that he was interested in her. So if he was to ask her out on a date, she will say yes. But it's asking Lance for his blessing. Are you cool with that? Because I don't want nothing awkward between us. Lance said, I mean, who am I to say you can't? I had a baby. I wasn't forthcoming. You're being forthcoming. I appreciate you telling me. Go ahead. So he feels like she was owed an apology. It was genuine. She accepted it. They laughed. asking her, how is the dating life? She says, a whole new world, and I can't wait to explore it. They laugh, they dap it off. Sounds to me they have a really good relationship as far as being friends. So I'm not mad about that at all, but we're moving on. Now we get Maurice and his guys' night out. It is a full house with all of the men. Chris, Lance, Will, Ken, Marceau, Martell, and Maurice, right? So Lance sees Martell, say, hey, how you doing? Martell asks him about the baby. He says the baby is good. She's about 12 weeks. He did tell him about his recent conversation with Destiny. He took accountability about the fact that he understood why she was upset about not telling her about the baby. But he was in his feelings, so that's why he didn't want to tell her. But remember, you both said you guys were available to see other people. This wasn't a committed relationship. But he can't deny that Destiny was hurt by not being aware of it. But I want Destiny to get over it. You can't always know what is going on with somebody if they're not ready to tell you. But then this is where Lance become a little bit of a bitch, because he said, I don't think you can hurt Destiny, as if Destiny don't have feelings. I'm not a fan of Destiny, as y'all can see, because I feel like she's flawed. I don't think she has morals, but Destiny doesn't deserve to be embarrassed like that. And for you to be embarrassed because she didn't claim you like you wanted her to, now you want to talk about how she ain't got no feelings, nobody can say anything to hurt her feelings. I don't like that at all. Had you been more honest in that conversation and told her that you really do feel some type of way about her dating your god brother because you still see a future with her, then we wouldn't be here. Had you told her how this makes you feel, then you would have been honest, you would have been more mature, and then we could have seen how Destiny operated after that. If Destiny moved forward like the way she's moving forward, and you told her how it makes you feel, then that's on Destiny to eat that and reap the consequences. So I don't like that, Lance, not at all. So then he tells Martell that she's interested in one of his boys. I don't know why he didn't say god brother, but you are feeling some type of way. Look how you're acting. Now you're feeling salty that she went to you. Now she's going to the god brother. But Martell said, okay, fine, I understand. But next time, just wrap it up. Find you a good woman that you can be yourself with, that can help you out, be there for you, support you, and all that type of stuff. Oh, like you had one, though. Remember, Martell, you lost a good woman that was there for you. You lost her for a puppet. You lost her for a bird that has no mind of her own, no brain of her own at all. She just waits there and sits there and waits for you to pick up off the shelf to tell her what she needs to say. Okay? Get out of my face, Martell. And then Maurice, his lemon head ass, want to tell Lance that he should get a vasectomy. Lance is still young. There's no telling if he wants some more children or not, but I don't think he should make that decision off willy-nilly. But Maurice's reasoning is because he should still be out there. He should still have fun, but he should not be expecting no surprises anymore. So let me get this straight, Maurice. It's all good for Lance to go out and be reckless with his penis, raw dog any woman as if STDs are not a factor. But because he should do this so that way he doesn't have no surprise babies anymore, that's irresponsible in my opinion. It's not holding him accountable that he needs to be mindful about who he lays down with. Because you can hurt these women when you're promising certain things that you can't live up to. And you're laying down with them and you're not forming a relationship with them. It's all harmful. It's irresponsible. These men are not real men. To tell this young man that you can do whatever you want to do, just make sure you don't go out and have any more children. No, that's not right. That's not cool. He needs to sit back, assess what he did, take accountability for what he did, and make better decisions. That's what he needs to do. The fuck is that? Never mind. But listen, that's not license that Maurice has definitely been moving foul in his marriage with Kimmy. I don't know what it is, because it flashes back to the first season when he had a vasectomy that I really didn't understand why. We never saw that him and Kimmy wanted to have any more children, but the fact that he went in and made that decision without telling her lets me know this man has been doing things he shouldn't have been doing in his marriage. He's definitely been fucking other women and has been getting off scot-free because there haven't any babies coming out. Mark my words, y'all. These men are telling on themselves, but they're not realizing that they're telling on themselves. More questions are going to be asked about why did you say this. Moving on. Marceau arrives, and Marceau is on the same time that Martell is on. Whatever Martell got to say, Marceau is going to say. He is going to enjoy pushing Martell's buttons until he crashes out. Now, when Martell and Marceau see each other, Marceau dabs him. Martell want to say that Marceau is acting two-faced, as if we're cool when we're not cool. Well, speak for yourself, Martell. You're just as two-faced as them, okay? So then we get to Will. He's talking, no, not Will. Ken. We're talking about Ken and what he got going on with Trish, and now Ken got a whole new problem. Aside Marquez, now he's mad about Trish not putting in the effort on doing things better, not going to therapy, not dealing with her anger and her tempers. He's tired of compromising. He's tired of catering to both sides of Marquez and Trish, because while waiting for him to get out of the picture, there's still some issues he needs to deal with along the line of being there for Trish. And I'm tired of it. I'm over it. Ken, what is your problem? You already knew she had all these issues when you got with her, along with her still being married. So what's the problem? And newsflash, Marquez and Trish have been recently divorced. I found out they have recently been divorced. So they're divorced now. I don't know what Ken's problem is. I feel like he's playing in my face. Him and Trish probably don't got a lot of issues the way he's playing it out to be. He's just looking for sympathy. So Marceau asked him, okay, so once the divorce is final, do you think she'll be ready to marry you? He said, bro, I'm not sure if I'm going to be ready to marry her. And that's what I can't stand, because he still wants to be there. He's invested time. He still loves her. But he's just like, I don't know. I've only dealt with so much. I don't know what else to do. Ken, you knew what you were getting involved with when you knew this woman was still married. You knew she had anger. You knew she had trauma. You still wanted to be involved with her. Remember, you seek women that are not available to you. Make it make sense. I just feel like you're capping. Both you and Trish are going to give us a sob story about how y'all needed to take a break, because later down the line, y'all going to act like y'all broke up. Y'all still together to this day. I don't have time. These men are giving him mixed emotions about whether or not he should leave the relationship or stay because he put time in it. Listen, I'm all for putting time in on what you want, but at the same time, Ken, you're not the victim in this. You've added some fault in this too. So I need for you to take accountability and responsibility that you wanted to be there. You wanted to save everything because you have a savior complex. You want to win by saying, I got the girl. I went through all of this. This is me. I'm the winner. I don't have time for this. He's not ready to leave her. He's not ready to put himself back on the market. He's ready to chill out and let things progress on their own time. Okay, Ken. Let them progress, because you've waited so patiently for her to divorce this man. Now it's happened. You gonna still find something to be complaining about? I don't have time. I don't want to talk about this no more, because the biggest thing that Trish and Ken had was Marquez. Now that Marquez is out of the picture, out of the show, what do you guys have going on? I don't know. I'm done. So out of the blue, Martell asked, does he know Ariane? He said, no, I don't know her. If I would have met her, I would have told you I met her. But Trish told Martell that Ken knew her. Does anybody find it odd that Trish and Martell are being so chatty Cathy's? Last year, they wanted to make it seem as if they didn't know each other. So now you're casually telling him that Ken knew Ariana? What are you trying to start, Trish? You're being a troublemaker. And I don't know why we're having a conversation about Ariana anyway. Nobody cares about her. But everybody is aware of Ariana. Everybody has seen her once or twice. Everybody has had conversations with her. So it's kind of like she's not really a secret, but she's not an interesting conversation. But Will wanted everybody to put everything on the table about what they know, who they know, what they know, what they don't know, because Huntsville is extremely small and we don't want any surprises. Will gave me a surprise, finding out that he has 4 baby mamas. And how many children? I'm interested in Will. Bring Will on the show more. So then Martell was throwing shots at Marceau about not standing on business, not being a real man. Because we get to the comment he made about Ariane being a hoe, knowing who she be fucking with. So it's like, okay, well, if you said it, put it out there. Be real about it, right? So then him and Marceau had their own separate conversation where Marceau texted him and says, you know what, I could have been mistaken. Could have been mistaken how that wasn't Ariane you saw out in the streets, that you don't have information, she fucking around with somebody else as if she's not a hoe. What's tea? Why you backpedaling, Marceau? And he even said it in the scene, making a joke about it, and says, to be fair, I could be mistaken. Okay, well, Martell is still going to stand on the fact that he saw Tisha getting bent over in the back of a Buick. The fact that he said that again in front of Marceau's face and everybody laughed, these men are so disrespectful. Like, they're not caring how they're treating their women. especially the wives that these men have, particularly Maurice and Marceau. Y'all don't care how y'all women get talked about like this? Because that would have been a conversation where Marceau should have told Martell, keep my wife's name out of your mouth. Or I would have put hands on him, but you didn't do that. You still bitched up. So then Martell goes on his diatribe about how people are never being real or being honest on what they have to say. Because if you're going to stand in it, stand in it, but don't spread lies and then get mad at me when I speak the truth. Fuck you, Martell, okay? Sometimes you speak the truth, but sometimes you speak in lies. So then Will makes a joke about actually knowing Ariane. How he said he used to train back in the day. And Ariane came over to the house. It went over Martell's head. He didn't catch it. It's the same lie that Trish said last season in regards to how she knows Martell that we never got clarity on. So then he said, I'm going to go home. I'm going to ask her because I don't want no lying ass girl around me. Martell, shut your lying ass up. You and Ariane are both fucking liars or are both made for one another. Get out of my face. So Maurice thought this would have been a real opportunity for everybody to have real conversations, get everything out of their chest so everybody can have a real conversation to move forward, let go of any animosity. But okay, Maurice. So while they're outside in the cold, Marceau was being a fucking asshole to Martell. So he said, I want a whole lot of coleslaw on my hot dog in the back of a Buick. I'm talking about I want a whole lot of slaw on my dog, man. I'm telling you. Martell, yep, I feel it. Where your brain, Martell? He talking about you. He is making fun of you. I swear to God, these men are looking at Martell like a fucking joke. They don't respect him. They don't respect what he has going on. They don't respect Ariane, and he definitely don't respect Ariane if he's allowing her to be talked about like this. So, even though Marceau, you threw a jab at Martell about coleslaw, because that was the name that came up with her being a mistress, but it's still a backhanded jab to Tisha, and you still didn't defend the fact that he shouldn't have said that. So he knows how to push Martell's buttons because Martell is easily triggered. Martell can't take it if you talk about what he's done. And he definitely projects about how he would do things and make it about what other people would do. So Will is wondering, how did this happen? How did we get here? Maurice thinks he knows everything by saying this all happened because Scope didn't work out. Both Marceau and Maurice said that's not what happened. So you say you know, but you don't know. Martell said, listen, I extended my hand to be there for Marceau when he got fired from the movie theater, being the manager, he couldn't find a job. I said, listen, I will go into business with you, and once everything gets set up, you can buy me out. Martell has said that since the beginning of the show, since season 1. He's never changed his conversations nor changed his word about being there for Marceau when Marceau wasn't making any money, and Tisha wasn't working either. But then Marceau want to say that's not what happened, okay? While he was let go from managing the movie theater, he also had a 16-unit complex. He also had 10 homes. He had all of these rental properties out there. So I'm with Chris. Chris said I'm kind of having a hard time believing that because if you had all of this real estate, then why did you go into business with Martell? Why did you accept his help? And the way they're going back and forth, I'm having a hard time believing either person. I believe Martell because he has said that since it got revealed that Marceau definitely wasn't making any money. And if you had all these properties, Marceau, then why do you have Tisha sharing a 1 bathroom with her 3 children? Then why isn't her office built yet? Why isn't her dream home built if you had all these properties, you've had all these successes? Remember, you didn't want Tisha to work in real estate. You said it was a hobby, not a career. So how come it worked for you but it couldn't work for her? Yeah, that don't make sense. And then you want to say that Maurice, what's his name? All right, so I meant to say Marceau. He now wants to say that Martell is trying to rewrite history to present himself to be the good guy, that he was a really good friend, and that's not the case. Well, Marceau, it kind of worked in your favor. Then Marceau mentions that this all happened because Martell got caught cheating and his life is in shambles and he wants to drag everybody else down. I don't disagree, Marceau. You are right. You are correct. But what you also need to do is defend the fact that he wants to make up lies about me and my wife, and I'm not here for it. He wants to say I cheated on my wife, and I've never cheated on my wife. You are not saying that. You're still giving that open conversation. You have done stuff in your marriage that you're not ready for it to come out. So then he brings up what took place season 1 when they were surprising Melanie and Martell on a night out for their 10th anniversary, where he made the comment about somebody being a busy bee because they weren't celebrating their anniversary. And because of that, Martell got upset. He didn't like that Marcel said it, so Marcel apologized for it. But at the same time, Martell, you did give them license to laugh about it because they did know, but it still don't make you guys look good because you guys were aware of him still cheating on Mel. The only person who was the fool was Mel. So then we mentioned the interviews that he's done about Marcel and Maurice. Martell said, I've never said anything about y'all. I've never had a problem until last year. You and your wife were talking about me. So while they've gone back and forth and they're talking about things they've known about one another, Martell did not back down as to why he did the interview. He said, yeah, I spoke to the woman you've been having an affair with. What did Marceau say? Nothing. He had no reply. He didn't say, you're lying. I've never cheated on my wife. I don't know that girl. I don't know who that girl is. He's not saying that. So then Maurice is like, this was a waste of time. They're just throwing mud at one another. Nobody's letting up. It's a ping pong match and I'm over it. That's what you wanted, Maurice. Then you want to say these two are just better off having their own conversations. No, they don't need to have their own conversations. They don't want to move forward. Okay, Marceau say you don't respect Martell. And it's like, let this be done. Don't speak about me. I won't speak about you. The moment you fire, I'm going to fire back. I just think that both Martell and Marceau enjoy going back and forth. Martell was definitely looking for an opportunity to argue on camera because he wants to have a moment. But Marceau, you added on to it because you wanted to go back and forth with him as well. And I feel like it still doesn't make you look good in my opinion though, Marceau. There's still some question that needs answering because I understand you don't want him to talk about you, but at the same time, if you have said you wouldn't want nobody to talk about you or throw out things that you've done, then why do you continue to do it if you don't want it to be done on you? And why are you in fear about what he'll say about you? We already see Maurice working overtime to make sure he's in good standings with Martell because he doesn't want his shit exposed. But how about you? If you don't want nothing to do with Martell, then let's reveal what you know and let it be done. But I'm going to move on from there because then when I tell y'all this scene was pointless as hell, it's dragged out for no reason. This scene with Lance, Twan, and Nell. I'm over it, okay? They had the conversation. I don't want it to be talked about no more. Nell, let it go. Stop being petty. Stop getting overly involved in your son's business. Let him figure it out on his own, okay? Because then she's more mad that being aware of the information that she knew that Lance was hiring Twan to be the security for Destiny's event. And seeing Destiny flirt with Twan in front of Nell, I can give Nell an understanding that that would be flaw as fuck, okay? Before Destiny even knew that that was a god brother. I'm aware you dated my son at the time, but then you flirting with another man in front of me as if I'm not here. And yes, that's my godson, but that's still wrong as hell to do. I wouldn't do that. But Lance was just repeating himself multiple times that, listen, me and her had a conversation. It's all good. It's all squash. He's relaying the message to Twan. Listen, Destiny told me that Trish told her you might be interested. If y'all have a mutual conversation, at least to a date, have at thee. I'm not feeling no way about it. But Nell is being weird and possessive over this. And it's just too much. Okay? How I feel like you're playing in my son's face. Could it be give back for Destiny dating a god brother? It could be, but that's Destiny. And that's Twan's business. Let's look at Twan sideways. Okay? You're not holding your son accountable that he wasn't honest about how he felt. So you know you're putting all the blame on Destiny. Stop doing that. Nell, please stop, please stop, please stop. I don't have time for this, okay? And Twan do find Destiny attractive, as he said, but he wants to be sure that the brother is cool. He said, I am cool. Go on. Now, what do you have going on? I don't want you to be all up in your children's business again. Okay, I want you to talk about you, your life, your business, and everything in between. Stop catering to your son's feelings. Stop trying to defend him, protect him, acting as if he is the better person in all of this. No, he's just as flawed as Destiny. Okay, and better yet, he's the one that needs to be more accountable because he's the one that had a baby. Oh, I don't have time. I really don't. But All right, so we get into the final scene. It's with Nell and Destiny. They just want to have a conversation about moving forward because they were not in a good space last year. But that's due to Destiny saying that she needs to reevaluate the relationship because she didn't like the fact that Nell invited Sun into her bachelorette party. Whoop-de-doo, get over it. Like Nell tell her, it wasn't a dig, it wasn't a hurter. I wanted everybody to be there. So Destiny, you made a fool out of yourself for being mad for no reason. And the energy that you got from Nell was because of what you did. The way you operated, it wasn't sitting right with her. Okay? And we also get to Destiny telling Nell the reason why y'all left LA was to be there for your new granddaughter. Nell gets mad all over again because she was like, listen, that's not what happened. It's not the truth. Teach needs to keep my name and my marriage out of her motherfucking mouth. Okay, Nell, but that's what you said. Okay? You said it. You told them. You left LA to be there for the baby. And I don't know why you lying about it. It's not that deep to lie about it. This is going to continue with the rift between her and Tisha. But it's just puzzling to keep on hearing why Destiny feels some type of way about where she's at with Nell. Well, you keep on saying you need to reevaluate the friendship. That's not going to be let go, Destiny. Okay? Because I do think that Nell has more of a right to evaluate the friendship with you because you're flirting with her godson right in front of her while dating her son at the same time. If that's not a problem, I don't know what is. But I just feel like Destiny likes to move where she wants to move. Okay? She wants to move without being questioned. She doesn't want to be held accountable, but she do expect for other people to explain their movements, which isn't fair. Then when it came down to getting to the part about her flirting with Twan, she said that where her and Lance were at, it wasn't going anywhere. It fizzled. So Nell said, okay, but you never said that. Were they supposed to? No, they weren't supposed to. But just like you wanted an update about what Lance had going on, you didn't need to tell Nell about where you and Lance were. That was y'all business, just like that was his business. And Nell really wants to hold Destiny accountable for everything, which isn't Destiny's fault. Nothing is all Destiny's fault, okay? She has a part to play, just like Lance had a part to play. She said, you want to hold me accountable for making googly eyes, but your son had a brand new baby. I got to give Destiny a point because that is the truth. He is the one who had more to be accountable for. He had a whole baby. All Destiny did was flirt. Who's worse here? Your son, okay? But you keep on trying to turn the finger onto Destiny, and I'm not liking that. Nell ended up wanting to mention every single man that's been connected to Destiny. She said Moses, Jalen, Lance, Twan. Who's next? Nobody you need to be concerned about, Nell. That's Destiny's business, not yours, okay? Don't put bodies on her. Don't clock her pussy miles like that. And she said the only man you should be concerned with of who I've had sex with was Moses, okay? Other than that, I haven't had sex with Jalen. I had sex with Lance and nobody else. But that's not even for Destiny to defend because that's her body. That's what she wants to do. Just because she has a lot of men under her belt doesn't mean she has sex with them. Women can date without having to be intimate with other men. Hell, why aren't we doing that to men? Men don't ever just date without having sex. Why aren't we calling them out? Let's not do this, okay? So, Nell needs to get out of here with that shit. Okay, I'm tired of her pointing the finger. I'm tired of her always putting Destiny out there like she's the problem when it's not her, it's your son, and it's you. Okay? So, they're going back and forth, but then we get to the god brother. Destiny didn't know. Okay, but then she already had a conversation with Lance. He gave his blessing. There's no need for Nell to say anything about it. But Destiny did joke about, you gonna be my mama one way or another. I do believe that Destiny do look at Nell as a mother. And I do believe she wants to be so close to her and her family. I do believe Destiny wants to worm her way in to being connected to that family more than just a friendship. I do. Then Destiny wants to tell us that Nell has been there through some dark times. She tells us that she was there for her divorce. We didn't see that. We didn't know nothing about that. She said when her son was in the hospital, Nell was there with her. We didn't see that. We don't know nothing about that. This is the shit I'm talking about when it comes to Destiny. If you and Nell were such good friends, how come we didn't see you having a conversation with her when she was on the show? I think Nell was on the show by the time Destiny got divorced, right? Or wasn't a full cast member? I can't remember. And then she also said that her and Nell have known each other for about a decade. No, I think there's some exaggeration there. I think maybe under 5 years you've known Nell for real. But how is it that, excuse me, you were so trusting with Nell about your divorce, but why weren't you trusting with Mel about your divorce? Why? That's interesting to me. Okay? But she wants the ladies to see this side of Nell, the nurturing side that we don't get to see. But I just feel like this is not going to work well, in my opinion, because Nell wants to be the voice of reason. She wants to be the mentor of the group, and I don't want to hear that shit again. And Destiny don't like it when someone denounced their friendship, how they don't know how to be cool with her. I think that's the boundary you want to overlook, because you're throwing a jab at Mel by how she's saying you're not her friend, because you weren't her friend. You weren't acting like a real friend to her. Okay, when there are things that you've done that hurt her, you couldn't accept accountability, but you kept on pushing the goalposts about how she's done things to hurt you. But moving on. So she didn't like that there was distance between her and Nell, okay? And then she talked about looking at Nell as a mother figure. You've been there for me more than I can say my own mother has been there for me. So I love you and I miss you. I miss talking to you. Okay, you all can see that this is feeding Nell's ego. She loves being complimented by this. She is flattered that Destiny looks at her as a higher regard, as a higher being. And of course, this softens Nell for Destiny, because they have this relationship where they can go back and forth, but they can come together and be cordial. Nell, get out of my fucking face with this. All it takes is for somebody to compliment you and say, you're such a good mentor, you're such a good nurturer. All it takes is for that, and you just melt. And you say, oh, I love you. I don't like that shit. Okay, Nell, if you have a problem, stay on that problem. Okay, but don't be swindled and manipulated into accepting any kind of compliment because you love being needed. You love being, respected and heard and can't stand that shit, okay? But either way, Nell and Destiny are cool. Okay, they love each other. They gonna move forward. It is what it is, and I'm over it and I'm done with it. Okay, like I said, we literally dragged out a conversation about Lance and Destiny for too fucking long. Now that that's over, can we talk about something else? I really want to talk about something else. Okay, what does Destiny have going on? Where does she live? Is she still doing Madani? Is she still going back into real estate? I want to know about that. I want to know about Lance and his business. I want to know about everything else. We're going to get to the real shit. Okay? But y'all, that's all I have. Please stay tuned for my next video. And I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.